Hey guys, AllyZieMage here, and welcome back to another College Talks video. This one might be a little more organized than the last one because I, one, not applying makeup, two, I have a list. I had a list in the other one actually. I don't know. This one's going to be more focused around actual school life of classes, professors, etc. I still haven't gotten any questions from people, so I'm kind of just like doing this on my own volition. If you do have any specific questions that aren't answered here, were answered in the last video, you want more clarification on, please leave a comment down in that comment section down below. I said comment down twice in that sentence. Yay! And I will definitely include it in the next video because I have a very low input value right now besides me and one of my other college buddies. Yay. So let's get started on the various things that involve actual school. How much time will I have to devote to class/schoolwork? Generally, from what I've seen, each class you sign up for meets for about 4 to 5 hours a week, and it kind of just depends on your school of how many classes you sign up for. In general, what I've seen be the norm is like 5 to 7 classes per semester. So you can estimate that per week you will have, I'd say at most you're looking at 35 hours. I'm in class for 15 hours. So it really does depend on the school you go to, but I wouldn't say you're going to be in class for more than 35 hours, and that might be pushing it. Because there are some classes that meet for 3 hours a week and that's it. And then there's some classes that meet for 5 hours a week. Or 6. That'd be awful, having a 3-hour class twice a week. I'd feel so sorry for you, bro. What are the classes like? Let's start there, actually. So what I generally do for class is that most of the classes are either lecture hall or regular, like what you would imagine a high school desk is like. We're not super fancy here, like, chill out. A lot of them do have, like, bench-type seating versus, like, regular desk seating.
Ally's running her first Pokemon team, campus WPI Pokemon Club on campus team.
Why do you have my phone?
So proud, we're all proud of her.
But basically, you have about the same amount of space that you'd have at high school or a little bit less. You probably will not end up with more space than you had at a high school desk. Most professors will let you take a laptop, and most professors will not care. Especially in this day and age. Some professors might actually require you to have a laptop now that I think about it. Or to print out a lot of stuff. But you get the small amount of desk, and you set up your stuff. I suggest notebook, pencil, and a water bottle. You don't need much more on your desk, honestly. And the professor will lecture for pretty much the entire hour or 3 hours. Some professors, depending on the subject, will have a discussion period. You can have what's called clicker questions, which at the beginning of the term you'll get this small device. I don't have one because I'm not in school right now. But you get a device that's about this big, has a battery component on the back, and you program it to a certain channel setting, and that channel setting links to the professor's PowerPoint. And you just press your answer. Generally it's like one button. And those are called clicker questions. I've never seen them be worth more than 10% of your grade, but they are often used as participation, because you have to be within a certain area to that classroom for it to register as being clicked, so you have to be in the classroom. Almost. I had a friend once who was sitting in my class when his class was the room over, and his friend would just text him whenever there was a clicker question, because it was only participation. He just pressed a random button. Sometimes you'll have discussion or journal entries where you get in with a small group of maybe 4 people at most, and you figure out an answer to a problem together, but that's generally outside of class. A lot of the time you will not be given in-class time to meet with other students. You should expect to get 2 to 3 projects or essays per class per semester. You generally will have a lot of outside workload. You probably won't be, see, how my school has it is that we're not in class for that long. We're in class 1 hour per class each day, but we're assigned a lot outside of class. It will feel like high school math again, of having a homework assignment due every single day. Sometimes. Sometimes it's one assignment due per week, But those assignments are really hard. Like, it will take you more than one day to do it. I am a huge procrastinator, and I learned that it will take you more than one day to do it. Do not try and do it in a day. At least give yourself 2 days, one to do it, one to collaborate with someone. And a lot of, especially computer science classes, they will have you just submit one assignment between the two of you. That's how 2 of my 3 programming classes have gone, and one of them didn't do that because it was algorithms, so it was just like, nope, fuck you. I hated that class, it was awful. But projects, you can choose your group members, and sometimes you can't. It really depends on the professor. I actually preferred it when the professor chose for us, not because I don't have friends. The time that I was able to choose my group, it was perfectly fine. I was able to find people because I had friends in that class. I feel like you work better when it's people you don't know, because then you're not afraid of offending each other. So honestly, hope for the professors that assign the groups for you. Unless you're a jerk and like to just slack off and have everyone else do the work for you, then pray to God that they don't assign partners, because your partners will trash you. Every time you have a project, especially if the professor chooses the partners, there will be a component that you submit that your partners don't see of them saying how much you worked, what you worked on, and if they think you did enough. Beware of projects if you do not do work. They will be your bane, and your grade will suffer from it. Professors do not joke around in college. If you're supposed to do the work, they will expect you to do the work. If a professor assigns homework but it's not collected, you sure as hell should do that homework still. You will die if you do not do that homework still. I pulled C's through all of my organic chemistry classes, and if I hadn't done the homework, I probably would have failed. Also, if you have to take organic chemistry, pray for your soul now. It's probably one of the hardest college classes in existence. And I had easy professors that didn't want to, they wanted to pass like as many people as they could. They weren't like the type of organic professors that are like, oh, I'm only going to pass 20% of the class. There are professors like that. Not at my school, thankfully. But at some schools, especially the hardcore chemistry ones. Study for the test. You might not have had to do that in high school. Hey. But you'll have to do it in college if you want to get an A. If you want a B, you might be able to pass off without studying, especially if it's a class you're good in. Let's move on to like what professors are like. Most professors I've come across are pretty chill. Go talk to them, they have amazing stories. Sometimes they'll tell them in their classes and you don't have to go separately to them. But if you're struggling in a class, go to the professor's open office hours. Do not email them to try and get a specific appointment privately. That will piss them off. They are very busy people. If they have office hours, stop by on those office hours. That is when they want to talk to students. That is when they are expecting you to come to them. And also try to formulate questions before you go in. A lot of them will get very annoyed very easily. But professors are generally nice people. Sometimes they're a little more focused on their own research, but they will make time for their students if that student is willing to put in the work and they seem serious about it. Like I said, Orgo wasn't my strongest subject, but I put the effort in. I met with the professor. And I was like, hey, I put in this effort. I've done some of the things you suggest in class, and it's still not clicking with me. What do you suggest? And we were able to talk it out, formulate a plan. I still didn't do terrifically, but I started doing better. So it is worth talking to professors, especially if you're going to want to get recommendations from them, or letters of recommendation or references. You will need those professors, and you'll need them early. That's what kind of hurt me. I'm applying for grad school soon, and it hurt me because in my undergraduate years, I didn't talk to professors that much, and because I was in classes of like 50 plus students, a lot of them didn't get to know me too well. I got lucky that my molecular bio professor liked me well enough, and that I answered questions in her class enough that even though I never met with her one-on-one, she was still willing to give me a letter of recommendation. I actually might be working in her lab next year. Part-time. They are your key to getting good jobs. So yeah, meet with professors, be nice to them. Don't go in expecting them to change your grade or to make things easier for you. That's not how that works. They are willing to work around and help you, but they will not give you handouts. They won't just straight up be like, oh, it's okay, I'll round you up. Very few professors actually round up if that is the first time you're going to see them is at the end of the term. If you see them periodically throughout the term, they might be like, hey, this person, they tried, they came in and like came to try and do things and fix their grade. I'll boost them to the next letter or the next percentage or whatever that you need that benchmark a little higher. They will do that. Most professors have control of what grade they give people. They won't ever drop you because they're not allowed to do that. They are human. That's the point I'm trying to get at right now, is that they are human and they are willing to work with you if you put in the effort. So honestly, go and talk to professors when you're able to. It will make your life a lot better. I think lastly, what I'm going to go into this video about is like different places around campus where you can try and find places to work that are somewhat more quiet or good for groups. For group type things, what I would suggest is most libraries that I'm aware of, like school libraries, have tech labs or computer air rooms. We call them tech labs. I don't know what their formal name is for other schools, but it's like a private room that you can book for free through the library, and they give you a key. You say how much time you want. There's generally a projector, there's a computer in there, and it's good for working on group projects, especially presentations. There's generally a whiteboard as well. They may or may not provide the markers depending on how trustworthy your school is. Those are probably the best places to do group projects or to look for empty classrooms. And then if you're trying to find a nice quiet place to work by yourself, pretty much every library has quiet floors that are made specifically for quiet working. You will get in trouble if you're too loud there or if you're talking at all. Some of them are like no talking at all floors. But those are definitely the first places to look, but especially around finals time, those places fill up super fast. So if you're wanting a quiet place to work and it's getting towards the end of the semester, I would say definitely avoid any place that is close to food. The closer you are to food, the more likely there's going to be people in swarms, especially if there's coffee that is served near that food. Then there's just like droves of students, especially during finals week. My best bet for you is to find academic buildings and go towards top floors. The higher up you go in a building, the less likely there's going to be students there, and the more likely it will be more quiet. Because professors try not to book classes there because they don't want to go up the stairs either. Spoiler alert. Unless their office is already on that floor. Then it's easy for them. Higher up you go, you can find empty classrooms, you can find sitting areas, you can find just general quiet places. I have taken a laptop and sat on the floor in a hallway for quiet once. It's not the most comfortable thing. Bring a pillow and a blanket and actually it does become pretty comfortable. The things you learn. Also, check out to see if your major has any specific rooms that are booked. Like, as a bioinformatics major in our computer science building, we have an entire computer lab that's dressed for us. And no one's normally super loud in there. And if they are, we can be like, hey, dude, shut up. And yeah, lovely noises like that. Check out if your major has any specific classrooms or buildings or offices dedicated to it, because those will generally have more secluded areas because they're more private access. Else, look towards either basement floors or really high floors. Will generally have less people and be more quiet. Avoid buildings that have food, because even if the food isn't on that floor, traveling up and down, people will do. They will do that for food. Or coffee. Coffee more than food, actually, especially towards the end of a term. If it's not the end of the term, more than likely you will be able to find a place in the library. If you're super desperate and it's getting towards the end of the term, at least at my school, the library is open 24/7 that last week before finals. Go at 3 a.m. in the morning. There will be people. You will not be alone, but there will be less people, and you'll be more likely to find a spot to sit at. There are some classes you take that you will work all night. The library is perfect for that. Not other people's dorms or apartments, because those places are generally like more comfy, and you'll want to fall asleep in. Also, some dorms have more than just a common area. They'll have like actual labs in them. Like one of the two of the upperclassmen dorms that we have, like the big upperclassmen dorms, not the apartment style ones, they have actual like tech suites. That's what they're called, tech suites. That's what we call them. That they have like a large table, computers for presentations, PowerPoints. We have like a super large one in the further away dorm that can seat like 20 to 30 people. Saw people playing Lion King in there once. We might not use them for the best reasons, but we use them. Do classwork even if it's not graded or collected. Show up for a class. If you have a participation grade, you will want to milk every point out of that grade that you can. Trust me. Participation is super nice. It's free points. Literally just show up. Have yourself a magical day, and I shall see you next time. Bye.